Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Verania and today I want to talk about life after the 9 to 5. So I really want to talk about, what it's been like since actually quitting my 9 to 5 corporate job. Now, if you're new to my channel, you may not know that I actually did a video where I spoke about the reasons behind actually quitting my 9 to 5 job. So I don't really want to dwell on that too much. If you haven't watched that video, you can check it out. I will link that up here for you and in the description below. But I really kind of want to talk about, what it's been like since I've actually quit my job and just some of the things that I've had to think about when it either comes to like my personal finances, what I do during my days, or even my personal life as well. So I thought it'd be a good video to have a chat and obviously have my tea with me so we can just discuss. So let's first talk about personal finances, because obviously my channel tends to talk a lot about money. So if you're new to my channel and you maybe haven't subscribed yet and you like that kind of content, you can definitely do that. But when it comes to my personal finances, I would say that the biggest impact or thing that I've really been trying to get used to is actually not having a consistent paycheck. Now, particularly for me, I only just quit my job a few weeks ago, so it's kind of fresh and new in my mind. But I'm even thinking about our next budget. Like, I'm thinking like I'm not going to be having the same consistent paycheck as we have had before. So obviously things are going to change when it comes to our personal budget. Now, if you're new to my channel and you didn't know, when it came to our budget in terms of the total income, it would mainly be from my own salary and it would also be from my husband's salary as well. So we obviously both had 9 to 5 jobs. And when it came to like my side hustle at the time, which is obviously something that I've been growing, I wasn't actually using that as income because I was actually reinvesting a lot of the money back into the business so that I could pay for different expenses. So I really kept that separate. But now obviously because I'm not going to have a 9 to 5 job, then we're most likely going to be using some of that income. Now obviously it's important to note that when it comes to our own lifestyle and our budget, we actually basically only live on one person's income anyway. So we pretty much live on my husband's salary, and then we were really just investing and saving my own salary. So that's pretty much how it worked. So in terms of our lifestyle, it's not necessarily going to change. And I mentioned that in my previous video where I was talking about the fact that actually our lifestyle is pretty much probably going to be the same, but we may not be able to save and invest as much, obviously because we no longer have my 9 to 5 consistent paycheck anymore. So I would definitely say that's probably something that I am a little bit nervous about. I'm not really sure why I'm nervous, because obviously our lifestyle probably won't change and we do have quite a lot of savings as well and investments. But I don't know, it's just like a mindset thing in that, you don't have that consistent paycheck anymore. You used to see your job as being secure and things like that. So I would say, it's definitely going to be an interesting few months, particularly because I've always had that consistent paycheck. So to now go to more of like a variable income where, one month you may not make that much money, but the next month you may make a lot of money, I think it's really going to be interesting to see. So yeah, I'm looking forward to like budgeting on a variable income, but of course I will let you guys know how that goes. And of course we'll be doing our budget update videos as well. So definitely check out our budget update videos if you haven't already. I will link one up here for you and in the description below. And if you're liking this video so far, then feel free to give me a thumbs up, as it really does help to support the channel. Plus it's free. Now the one thing I would say is that when it comes to like the majority of people, I think their mindset is very different when it comes to actually dealing with personal finances and understanding their expenses. Now let me talk about why I say this. So when I actually said that I was basically going to quit my job, and obviously like with my work, some of my colleagues would come to me and basically ask me, what kind of job does your husband do? And I was like, why would you need to know what kind of job my husband do? Like, he has a normal job, like it's normal. And the reason why they were asking that is because they thought I had some rich husband where he was basically paying for everything. And I was like a little princess sitting in my house knowing that I could basically quit my job at any single time. And so I was like, really? You actually think like I have to have a rich husband in order for me to take some time out? Like, is that really how things work? And the reason why they had that mindset is obviously because most of these people are living paycheck to paycheck. And you know what was interesting is that most people who had actually asked me that, I would definitely tell you that a lot of those people earn more than myself and my husband's salary combined. So the fact that they were asking me this question, I realized like it really doesn't matter how much income you're earning. Like if you're living paycheck to paycheck and your expenses are all the way up here and you can't even save a decent amount of money, then there's something going wrong here. And obviously I used to work in HR, so I already know, the ranges that people were already earning and like their their salaries and things like that, I will be the first to tell you that there were a lot of people earning much more money than myself and my husband. And if you're subscribed to my channel, then you would probably know that our income is quite average. So I was earning under £35,000 a year, which is around $48,000, and my husband was earning just above that. So we weren't earning big bucks at all. But I just found it so interesting that my colleagues thought that I had to have married a rich husband in order for me to actually be able to quit my job. So yeah, I honestly, I was so surprised, and I was literally like, no, we basically just live on one person's income. That's just how we've been doing it. We basically save the rest. But that literally just felt so alien to them. And so yeah, just knowing that people kind of think like that and feel like, you know, you have to have all of these expenses and you need to be living above your means is the norm is very, very strange to me. And I think just going forward, you know, when people ask me like why I've quit my job, I'm probably gonna have to now have a similar conversation. So that's something that I didn't really expect, but I'm obviously now having to prepare for in terms of the conversations that I'm going to be having. So next up, I want to talk about my day-to-day life and what's really been happening, you know, since I've actually quit my job, how I've been spending my days and things like that. Because I should say that I have not been sitting down and just not doing anything at home. It's definitely not like that. If anything, I probably do a bit more than I was actually doing when it came to my 9-to-5 job. So actually there's been quite a different shift. And so what I would say is that in terms of my day-to-day life and actually adjusting into, you know, not actually having a 9-to-5, it's not been that different just because of the fact that we have been working from home for the past 18 months. So in particular with my job, I've been working from home since last year March, and actually when we were going back to the office, I was really only going once a week. So for me, like, I've really just got used to working from home, and it's something that I absolutely love doing. Personally, for me, I just love being at home and actually, you know, having a dedicated workspace. Even though we have a cozy 1-bedroom flat, I honestly don't mind. So it hasn't actually felt that different. And so because I'm so used to working from home, I feel like the adjustment to it hasn't been that bad, especially if I was to compare it to how I was last year when I was only working from home maybe once a week, and the majority of time I was actually in the office. And so in terms of what I actually do day to day, essentially what I had been doing as part of my side hustle, so whether that be coaching my clients or whether that be filming or editing YouTube videos, I used to do that either before work, after work, or during the weekends. And so basically with those times, I've pretty much now moved that into the working week, as well as actually helping with my church as well, because that's something that I've mentioned before in terms of like helping people with their personal finances when it comes to church. That was something that I was maybe dedicating on the weekends. I've now pushed that to during the week. So really it kind of feels like it's pretty much a similar working week in that I basically work very similar normal work hours, but the difference is that I actually work when I am most productive. So for me personally, I tend to work a lot better during the morning, so I will try and do as much work in the morning. But when it comes to the afternoon, like after lunch, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I am always slumped. Like when it came to my 9-to-5 job, like between 1 to 3 o'clock, I would be suffering because I was like, I would not be productive at all. I would just be so tired, and I just didn't really want to work, and I wasn't productive at all. So obviously I'd still have my work, but I wouldn't be able to do as much work as I did in the morning because that's just not when I was productive. And so now I feel like I have a lot more flexibility and more control over my schedules, whereas now obviously I don't need to, but I am still trying to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not gonna lie, it's been quite difficult over the past couple of weeks, but it's something that I really want to try and do. And the reason being is just because I know that I work really well in the morning compared to the afternoon. So if I can wake up early and I can basically get the majority of my work done before lunchtime, then it's gonna make my life a lot easier, because then I know in the afternoon I really don't have to do much work at all, and I can basically just, you know, chill in the afternoon, you know, maybe go for a walk, have lunch, and just really take my time. And so that's something that I've really appreciated at this moment in time, just having a bit more control when it comes to actually being productive and knowing when's the best time for me to work. Now, I'm not going to lie that it is still pretty much an adjustment as well, and this is something that like I go through with my own business coach. So if you didn't know, I actually have a business coach and I've been working with her since this summer. Her name's Emily. She's absolutely amazing. And so what we've really been doing is doing like almost a time audit. So we were pretty much starting to work on, you know, how did I actually manage my time whilst I was working in my 9-to-5, but then also how is that now going to translate now that I don't have a 9-to-5 and now that I actually have all of these hours during the work week as well. So we've really started working through, you know, what am I going to be doing day to day to make sure that it is productive, but also at the same time I'm actually taking some time for myself, because I realized that actually when I was working my 9-to-5 job and I was doing my side hustle and all of these things, I really neglected things like self-care, like working on my mindset, having a really good morning routine and all of those things like that, and actually just taking the time to build on my health. health, things like that basically just went out of the window. So I really want to try and get back into that and really just dedicate some time to, you know, actually have a good solid morning routine where I don't feel so rushed, but at the same time actually taking the time to work on my mindset. Because like I always say, like when it comes to things like your personal finances, or whether it be business or just life in general, a lot of the things that will be holding you back will be your mindset and not just the strategy. So for me, I really want to take the time to just focus on my mindset and honestly just grow as a person, whether that be spiritually with my faith in God or just genuinely trying to educate myself. I think that's going to be really powerful. So that's something where I've realized I can do a lot more of compared to when I was working at my 9 to 5. It's not that I wasn't doing it when I was working my 9 to 5, it just felt a lot more rushed compared to now. I like have dedicated days and times where I'm like, okay, this is the time where I'm going to take my time and, you know, do my morning routine, and I'm not going to feel rushed because I can basically start working whenever I want. And so I feel like because I've had all this guidance and this help, it's helped me to transition to life after the 9 to 5 a lot better than probably it would have been like before if I just really just quit my job and then that was it and didn't really have any insight behind, you know, what I really should be doing after I've actually quit my job. And then the only other thing I'm trying to focus on is really just establishing quite a good routine and almost just kind of theming my day, so I really know what I'm going to be focusing on every single day, because I don't want to get to the point where I'm pretty much like sitting here and I'm like, I don't really know what to do, so I'm just going to sit down and watch Netflix all day. I definitely don't want to get to that point, and I'm one of those people where I like to have structured days and I always like to have something to do. I don't know why, whether it's my personality or whatever, I'm not sure, but I really want to have some clarity in terms of what I'm going to be doing. But essentially the routine I'm trying to establish at the moment is just focusing on kind of theming my days. So, you know, there might be one day where I really focus on mindset and education and kind of like forward planning in terms of how I can actually start to really move my business, and then the other day might be focusing on creating content, so that might be written content like writing Instagram posts or anything like that. Another day may be focused on coaching clients and creating tutorial content for them. So if you didn't know, I basically coach women on their own personal finances, so really helping them to overcome the fear of investing, actually being able to create a system for themselves where they actually have a budget that doesn't feel so restricted, they're able to save a lot more money, and they're able to also spend intentionally. And so I really want to be able to actually dedicate like a specific day for those women, so whether that be creating the video tutorials, the templates, or actually having the coaching calls. So if you do feel like you really want to make a change with your personal finances, then you can definitely check out my coaching program. I will leave a link up here for you and in the description below. But yeah, I essentially just want to have a structured day where I just have like a really clear routine, but also at the same time I'm able to be as productive as possible. So I'm not going to go and schedule time in to do most of my work at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because I know that's when I'm least productive. Instead, I might actually choose to go for a walk during that time so that I can refresh myself and then go back to work later. So there's all these things I've really been thinking about, and I'm just excited for the next year. And then when it comes to my personal life, I feel like the biggest thing is just the fact that even though I like to be quite a structured person and I like to have my routine and things like that, I just realized that the fact that I have the flexibility to do what I want to do and set my own routine has just been game changing for me. And the fact that I've been able to just take that control has just been absolutely amazing. And I feel like that's why I feel at peace, because I know that I now have a bit more time to just really do things that I enjoy. But then also I get to take time with things like cooking. So you guys might not know that I do really like cooking, so it's something that I just like to enjoy doing. But the fact that now I have the chance to actually take my time and do the cooking, and yes, sometimes I will still batch some of our food for the week, but there might be actually a couple of days in the week where I decide actually I want to take my time and cook, I can do that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the next few months are gonna go, which of course I will definitely keep you guys updated. So if you did like this video, then please do give me a thumbs up if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments, what else would you be doing if you quit your 9 to 5 job? I do post every Tuesday and Friday, so if you would like to know more, then of course you can subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on Friday.